Jewish fucking demon.
I'm surprised you were listening to Springsteen. Usually you don't like him that much.
I like this fucking jam. I like that album. I like that.
What album's that?
It's not Darkness on the Edge of Town. It's the other one. I don't know what the fuck the name of it is off the top of my head. It's got that on it. It's not Thunder Road, but the other fucking one. Who knows? Great to be here. It's Monday, March 23rd, the day the devil was fucking raped in the ass and spit on and shit and thrown into the ocean. All that shit. St. Michael fucked them up. I'm here with my main man, Lee Syatt, the boogie down man. What's happening, baby? How was your weekend?
I had a great weekend.
Tell him what you did. Tell him what you did.
I finally introduced Paula to some stars.
See what I'm saying? One little fucking star that you gave her like a little piece Friday. You talked to me. You said she hadn't gotten off yet, which happens.
Right.
Your body doesn't know what the fuck to do. Then you gave another little bit. Then the warmth started.
Right. It was awesome. It was.
You thought I was kidding you Friday. You thought like.
Well, you've been telling me to do it for months. You've been telling me to
bust it out, dose her. If you make people think about shit, they're never gonna do it. It's like anything else in life. Hey man, you should do this. Yeah. Let me think about it. I'll think about. And then they always come up with
right.
Just dose them, and then they got nowhere to go. And then they're gonna get married for 10 minutes. Then they're gonna start smiling, and that's it. Then everybody's fucking happy.
I didn't even have to dose her. She was into it, and. She even asked what we did 2 nights in a row. And we watched 2 things. We watched Dude, Where's My Car? Dude, Where's Your Car? And then we watched Kings of Comedy with like Bernie Mac and all those guys from 2000. And we were just laughing at the stupid, like we were laughing hysterically for almost all of Dude, Where's My Car? Because the woman, Rice Cup or whatever, the comedian who played Chloe in 24, she recognized her. And I said that she's deep undercover. As like one of those old Tom people, so we would just laugh every time she came on screen. She's deep undercover.
She's deep undercover. It's fucking fun sometimes, especially when you don't do it.
Right.
And you get the giggles and you.
It was kind of cool. I saw it from kind of your point of view a little bit because she had never done it before. She stood up at one point. She's like, I don't know if I can walk. I was like, you're already walking, and she's like, oh, great. And we had some good food. We got Thai food. It was a great weekend.
Yeah, man. Nice and light. You didn't fucking kill yourself. No. You had to go for cocktails and wait on a line and deal with assholes at the club.
It's a lot better than drinking, honestly. There's no hangover. It's not that expensive, and it's you don't feel like you never feel sick from it. Every once in a while, I took too much, but I would never give her that much. So
no, and sometimes you eat an edible and just go do something simple. Like go on Ventura Boulevard and walk around the restaurant row or something.
After this podcast on Friday, we went to Jersey Mike's.
Did you?
And had a great sub.
What did she have?
We got the same thing. We got turkey on wheat with a little bit of bacon.
And that's good, right? I told you.
I did the mayo with the salt and the pepper. It was great.
Fucking tremendous. And no avocado.
No avocado.
No avocado.
The avocado for me is a little bit I like it on burgers sometimes, but subs I'm not hugely into. But then we went next door. They have Rita's, like the shaved or Italian ice thing from Philly. Oh, that was so good.
What flavor did you get? I've never been in there.
Well, we went on a stupid day. We went on it was like free day, which we didn't know, so there's a bigger line. But we got something that was like half ice, half custard mixed together. So it was like a kind of like a shake, like kind of a thinner shake. It was really good.
No shit.
Yeah.
I always see that. It's really popular. I've never gone in there just because.
Apparently it's a big Philly thing. That's what Simone was telling me. And he said that people love it. And the line was literally out the door on Friday. Because like the first day of spring is free ice day or something. And it was great. We had a great time.
Fucking great, man.
Yeah. How about you? How's your weekend?
I fucking did, did spots. Worked out heavy for Saturday, Sunday. Went to jiu-jitsu Friday. Lifted both days. Took the baby swimming Saturday. The same bullshit. Did a few spots. Did great with I did great over at the Improv with Greg Fitzsimmons' show.
Oh, that's cool.
Then I went over to the main room at the Comedy Store and ate death.
Really?
And I was telling Ari I'm 50% in the main room. The main room is iffy, for me. It always has been. I just take the spot and I go down there and I try my best.
And it's like a few hundred feet from the original room, so why do you think it's different?
Just it's a bigger room. It's a way bigger room, a different layout. It feels different. It's pointed towards the west. At the fucking Comedy Store, the Shingdu, whatever they fucking call it, when Chinese people point
Feng Shui.
Feng Shui. It's pointed to the fucking whatever it is, the east. I don't even know anymore. But I don't know. There's no excuses. I just always have it in the back of my mind. I went out there very high energy, and they would just put me to a halt.
Really?
It was just a halt. But I don't. Hey, listen, man. It's it's a 50 situation.
How long does that like weigh on your mind when you have a bad set?
Once I get to the car, once I started the car and was making a left onto Laurel Canyon, it was all gone from there. I don't give a fuck anymore. It's a game of percentages. It's a game of, you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. Even if you have 10 good days in a row,
right?
Eventually you're going to have a bad set, and you can't control it. You control I did okay, but it wasn't what I wanted. So
right.
Sunday day, I did have a great time though. I went out of my comfort zone. I drove downtown.
Oh, wow. Oh, you
which
drove?
I hated. Yeah, fuck yeah. I wasn't going to take the train. It was a half a mile where it dropped me off. So I got to take a cab. My wife said and it was easy. I just drove. I went over there. It was $20 to park. And I went to EBI. And it was fucking phenomenal. I stayed to the semifinals. I didn't get to watch Gary Tone. I watched Gary Tone in the role twice.
Okay.
Nate Orchard. I saw, Javi Mendez lost. I saw some great jiu-jitsu. I didn't know what the fuck. It was too high level for me.
Really?
A lot of leg shit, which I don't even like feet. Like, I'll never. Once you become a blue belt, you're allowed to go for leg locks and heel hooks and all that shit.
Okay.
But I don't even like people's feet, so I'll never become a blue belt.
You'll never touch people's feet?
No. I'd rather fucking have my hand cut off than have a man touching my feet and him grabbing my foot and me grabbing his fucking foot. But the star of the show was definitely this little girl. I don't know how old she was. Her name was Grace. Grace Gundrum from 10th Planet, Bethlehem, PA.
Yeah, you were telling me about it.
It was, it brought me to tears. It brought me my emotions, everything. It was amazing to see this little girl, little Asian girl, was maybe, the other girl had her maybe like by 15 pounds, a little taller, a little lankier.
Okay. And
she stuck to what jiu-jitsu is. Jiu-jitsu is for little people to fucked up big people, to neutralize them, and she did exactly that. She showed us the beauty of jiu-jitsu all over again, which is if you go to the technique the way it's taught to you and stick to it, no matter what that guy is doing, he can't stop it. Just the technique. It's so technical, jiu-jitsu. When you first start, it's hard to comprehend that. You do everything from strength. But the more you go, you see that everything flows, and it's all about being very technical. If you put your knee there and your hand there, and she did it. And, she brought the fucking place to a standing ovation.
Is it only one match at a time?
It's one match at a time, two people. It's 10-minute matches. It's submission only, and it's overtime. So you grab somebody's back in a seat belt and put your hooks in, and they say go, and you got to get out of it. Or I have to try to submit you, and you have to try to get out of it.
Okay.
So you have to turn into me, without me submitting. You're going for your neck. Very interesting. The matches, the way Eddie's doing it, Eddie really knows jiu-jitsu. People think he's crazy or whatever. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, he's got a great mind. He has, if I listened to him on Rogan, and he was talking about, he's after watching it yesterday, after seeing Eddie against what's-his-name in Metamoris, I realized that there is a market for it on TV. There's nights I'm going through television shit on ESPN. There's some horrible fucking programming.
Right.
Whether it's about hunting, and I got nothing against hunters, or fucking poker. There is a time slot. There is room on television today for 1 hour of jiu-jitsu a week in a tournament situation. 10 people, $10,000 winner. And it's done in an hour. It's matches, It's done in fucking 2 hours, if they could figure out how to do it in 2 hours on TV every week, it'd be fucking phenomenal. I know I'd watch.
So what was so cool about that?
Well, they did it at the Orpheum Theater. They did it downtown. It was just a different shot.
Oh no, I meant with that girl who won. Like, what was so cool about her match?
That she came from behind. It was always like she was always a smaller opponent, but it didn't really settle. The highlight of the match was that her mom started yelling. Like, she caught a quiet minute in the room, and she goes, "Let's go, Grace. Wrap this up. I got no time to fuck around or mess around." Like, the whole room of Gentiles froze by how she said it. But that's how she basically motivated her daughter. And at the end, she got her, and I think she choked her, and then she escaped, and she won. And she was the cutest little girl in the world. And this is going to change for women. Like, this is going to change. Like, I think after watching it, I think the reason why I got more emotional is because my daughter won't have to take bullshit. I don't have to worry about my daughter getting manhandled. You know, if you have a daughter or you know, for years, women always wanted to get women's lib, but it didn't bite with me. Now it's biting.
Okay.
You want women's fucking lib, you got to get in there and get down and fucking dirty. And women are doing it. Ronda Rousey's doing it.
Right.
These women are really doing it, which it's, you know, I'm 52. How long am I going to be around for my fucking daughter? Till she's 18, 19, maybe? You know, sometimes I get so worked up doing stand-up, my head will blow up right on fucking stage one day. But until that time, I know that if my daughter, I mean, that's it. It's just something empowering. Like, it just empowered me. Like, this little girl just did this, you know.
When are you going to put her in jiu-jitsu? Do you have a plan?
I'm not going to put her in. She has to come to me and say, I want to give it a try.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really going to force her onto anything. I'll expose her to it. She'll be exposed to it, you know, at the house, at TV, at school, and she'll come to me one day and say, I want to go watch it, and I'll take her to watch it. And she'll either like it or she won't. You know, kids, you know, you can't. I don't want to Pistol Pete Maravich my child into liking a specific sport. Pistol Pete was a player in the 70s. That was great. But when biography came out, his father used to torture him. Pistol Pete died from cirrhosis of the liver, I think. He drank himself to fucking death. He was a great basketball player. But he had one of those fathers.
Right.
That you know which fathers I'm talking about. Get out there. You lost, go sleep in the fucking garage, you know. That type of shit. You lost, go shoot free throws till you fucking win. Those fathers that are living their dream through their child, so they're pushing them. I don't want to do that. I want her to, you know, if she wants to learn Tai Chi, what the fuck am I going to do? Let her be a Tai Chi black belt. Let her hypnotize people.
But I think it's good for kids. I'm the least athletic person in the world, but my mom always had me doing something. I was either soccer or baseball.
Have to. No, she's going to do something.
Right.
No, that's the least of my worries. Listen, my wife doesn't work, so she could take her, and there's an activity every fucking day. There's always something. Today they went to take school pictures in the zoo. Tomorrow she just goes to school. Wednesday she goes to a friend's house, and they all watch the kids, and they jump up and down, and they fucking barbecue. Thursday she goes to school, and Friday she goes to kitty corner. There's always an adventure looming. Saturday she goes swimming. Sunday she goes to the daycare over at church for 2 hours, and she loses her fucking mind there. There's always something. There always has to be something, because everybody know idle hands are the devil's motherfucking workshop. I hope she gets into a martial art. You know, people have opinions about martial arts. I know for a fact martial arts works. Why? Because it worked on me. It got my life together 2 times. So martial arts works. It's a discipline. It's something that you get involved in. It's something that you become a part of. And that's better than becoming anything else. I'd rather have a child in a martial art than anything else. Her involvement in that, you know.
I did Taekwondo for 7 or 8 years. I went to red belt, and I don't regret not doing it, not finishing to get a black belt. But one thing, my mom never let me quit anything, which I think has helped me a lot. Like if I was gonna stop doing a sport, I had to have something else, or even that, like I'd have to finish the season. I had a bunch of friends who quit freshman football the first couple weeks into the practices. I never played football ever, and I joined freshman year, and I only played like 2 snaps the entire season, because like they had to put you in once, and it was against the worst team, and I hated every minute of it. But I remember I finished the season, and it's especially out here, you see people switching jobs a lot, and that's never been me. I always I try to stick things out.
You have to. It's funny. Last week, you and I were having a conversation. You did your taxes.
Oh, yeah.
You thought you were going to go back to jail, and you owed a little bit more than you anticipated.
Right.
And you didn't panic. I thought that
I did.
I thought that you're going to be a little worse than what you were, because there's nothing you could do. But then you told me you wanted to drive Uber, and I'm like, this fucking guy's crazy. And then when I call you that night, you're like, I'm gonna drive. I gotta call you back, and you were giving some people some rides, and I thought about it that night. And Lee, I've done the same. Whenever I get into a bind, I'm like, oh shit. Well, before I got into comedy, or even when I got into comedy, there was times when I said, you know what, this isn't working. I'm gonna go get a job. And bam, you book a fucking commercial. Bam, you book a TV show.
Right.
And people do that all the time. Like they go for a dream, and then, you know, a couple of years into it, they're like, I'm not making money in this. I'm going to go back to driving a bus. And then, but if they would have put the full effort. I understand. I understand, man. I understand when people do that. I understand the need to have money. I understand the need to want things. I just don't understand the need of people needing to bail on something. Right. So when this happens, I called you 2 days later. We spoke, and I said, listen, I just think you should put more effort into your field.
Right.
You know, you're going to go put 10 to 20 hours a week into somebody else's fucking career, or driving, or loading, or waitressing, whatever the fuck you're going to do. When if you put 10 more harder hours into your job, shit's going to happen. You're going to see it. Shit's going to happen.
Right.
And that's what happened. You know, things happen. I mean, I never understood that. And I hope you, and I'm happy you understood when I said to you what I was saying.
No, I understand. I hate it. I've only done it a couple times, and there's nothing it was so demeaning doing it. And it's just the way the people, and most of the people were cool, but it was the way people treated me. I was just like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And it's of course it's about the money. Like, I need the money to pay taxes, and I need the money to live. But I've been working with you for almost 4 years, I think. And even though my parents are supportive, and even though Paul is supportive, they don't really get it. Like, my mom will call me and say, "Oh, who else are you doing a podcast with?" Or she heard about other people who are producing podcasts. You should go talk to them. And for me, I don't know if it's, I put so much work into what we've been doing, and I'm so invested in it. And yes, I get to come and we hang and we laugh, and I get to have edibles, so I understand why some people might not understand it. But I actually, this sounds horrible, but I'm going to say it. Before I left to do my taxes, I actually said a little prayer that I would be able to owe a little bit of amount that would let me keep doing this. Because, yeah, I would love to be a millionaire. It would be great. But it's been so important to me what we're doing, because it has my fingerprints on it. Like, I was at the getting my car washed the other day, and I saw these people building a house, and I could never build a house ever. But it was cool to me. I was a little bit high from a podcast, and I was just watching them, and I'm like, that must be really cool to, like, start building a house, finish, and get to see what you did. And when we started, we were using webcams, and I was propping them up with Lysol wipes. And we moved from my house to another office. We first started at your house, and I was working 10 hours a day and then going to it. So I think a lot of it is a little bit, maybe I'm too prideful. Maybe I do care too much about it. And I want to make it, I want to see this turn into, I don't know, a TV show, or someone sponsors us and gives us $100,000 a year each, or I don't know what is going to come from it. But I was thinking I was going to do Uber just to make a little bit of money to pay off what I owe. But it's just, and I could have been very happy being an editor. I think I could have lived a very normal life and worked 60 hours a week or whatever it would have been. But whenever we have a great podcast, or whenever somebody sends me an email now, it blows my mind. And it's just, I was petrified of tax. I was nervous for a couple weeks, and I was going through, I was trying to get all the deductions I could. And trust me, now this is my first year only having this, so I really sympathize with anyone who's doing their own stuff, because they basically doubled my taxes with a self-employment tax. And I understand that it's basically because you're not paying into Social Security. But everyone always pushes the American dream on you. And the fact that they tax you more when you're self-employed is just unbelievable to me. So I was petrified. And I owe enough, or a little bit, that I can still keep doing this. I don't have to go back and get an editing job. But I was petrified. I I don't know how I would have called you and said, listen, I can't do this anymore. That would have killed me. Because you put so much faith into me 4 years ago when I Facebook messaged you, and we started with Matt Flavored World videos, and I would edit them on the weekends, and you gave me $100 a week when I knew nothing. I was building furniture at my other job when I was supposed to be an assistant, and you put so much faith in, and you've. I don't want anyone to write to you and be like, oh, why aren't you paying Lee more? You're paying me more than most podcast producers probably get paid. So it's never about the amount of money. It's
about loving what you do.
I think, it's that. And then who you're working with. Like, Greg it's funny you brought up Greg Fitzsimmons. You did his podcast a year or so ago, and I went with you. And he said, what's the hardest part about working with Joey? And I think about it every now and then. You're not an easy person to work for in many ways. You want things faster than sometimes they can be. You never take a vacation. There's never a week off from the podcast, really. But I've worked so many jobs where bosses are mean or bad people, or they don't want anyone else's input. And this is your podcast. I got very lucky, and you're well known, and this is your podcast. But you never make me feel like that. You never say it. Sometimes you'll make fun of some of my ideas, but usually you're very open to it. And it was killing me. That was, I think, the part that was killing me, that I would have to make that phone call and say, listen, I have to go back to editing, and I'll train somebody else, or I don't know what it would have been, but I'm glad that's not going to be the case.
First off, your handprint is on this podcast. A lot of people love the podcast, us being together. That's the whole thing. I'm blown away by taxes, too. And I told you like a year ago what I paid in taxes from the podcast. Now they have a 10% city tax for businesses, for small businesses. It's like they come at you from all fucking direction. And I think that there's something here. Listen, for years I was chasing not the American dream. I was chasing a dream. I was chasing that I was going to do something and bump into money.
Right.
We all think when we're young we're going to bump into money. We agree to the salary that we take in a job. We go to that job every day, and then 6 months into it, no matter what job we have, no matter what we're paying us, you're always going to go, fuck, I need to make more. That's just it's what we're about, and you're working for somebody, they have whatever the fuck they call it, they pay you, and then you want more. Everybody wants more, and then you're like, maybe I'll bump it. It's like when you owe a lot of money in your credit cards, and you're like, I got to do something. I'm never seeing myself going to get away from this. Like, I'm never going to get out of this fucking hole, And you always think you're going to bump into that fucking envelope, I never thought that. I thought that till I was about 31 or 32. And then it got replaced by something called hard work. Lee, we fucking party too much. We live in a society of people that they want to do everything, and then when things don't go their way, they want to cry. Well, that means you can't do everything.
Right.
And that was mine. That was my biggest problem when I was in my 20s. I wanted to do everything. But you can't. You pick up 2 tabs, that's $300. You're only getting 15 an hour, or 12 an hour, or 18 an hour, or 20 an hour. You're still getting an hour wait. And you go to a restaurant, it's fucking 150 or whatever with your friends. When you go to Vegas, it's fucking costs money. When you go to all these places as a young man, it costs money. And I would always try to catch up with people. I was always catching up. I'll put this. Next week, I'll pay the rent. You're never going to fucking pay the rent because next week something else is going to come up on Friday.
Right.
You got the wrong fucking friends, You got to get friends that stay in at night or whatever the fuck it is. When I got into comedy, it's funny. I always tell people, this June is really going to be 20 years of my comedy career. I really started in July of 91. But I decided, it took me 4 years to really attack stand-up comedy. Do you know why, Lee? Because in those years, even though I was doing shitty jobs and selling cars, and I had to prepare myself for the journey. this was not going to be an easy journey. And that's what people always misinterpret, that this is going to be an easy journey. At first off, we live in a place where everybody wants to go on vacation 3 weeks a year. And not just fucking a vacation. Because nobody just wants to take a week off and plant tomatoes. Oh, no. They got to go somewhere exquisite and really fuck themselves up. Because it fucks your head up after like 4 days. Could I live here? Could I do these things? Then you have to go back to fucking reality to pay for that fucking vacation.
Right.
So, I'm not one to take a fucking vacation. I believe that there's work. There's something I could be doing every day. That's my belief. That's how I was raised. That's what I've seen in 30 years of being in the job market. That people work 5 days a week and, oh, well, it's going to be a hard fucking life, brother, unless you're making fucking $90,000 an hour.
Right.
You know, for me to be at the level of where I want my stand-up to be, where we want the podcast to be, it takes effort. It takes work. I got to get up in the morning and think of notes and think of things and music. And so it takes a lot more work. With this podcast, we generate some money from sponsors. I cut it with you, 50%, you know, as close as I can without paying the bills and me losing money.
Right.
And this, for me, has been also a learning experience. I mean, I don't want to fucking quit doing a podcast. But in my world, you know, I don't know. I just like sacrificing. I've always liked sacrificing. People always tell you, oh, we partied, we went here, and then 2 weeks later they're telling you how they're behind on their credit card. Well, you also went there for fucking 2 weeks, guy. You know? So there's so many fucking variables of living. It's just what we want to do. I've always believed, and I said to you, I said, listen, there's so much more we could be doing with this podcast.
Right.
It's not that we've gotten lazy, it's that we've gotten busy. You know, we're trying to put the podcast up on Roku now. I'm trying to put together respect. I mean, there's so many fucking things that, you know, it's like I was telling you, for years I was my own agent. I knew what was movies were making, and when a movie got, I attacked that fucking movie. I don't have the time to be my own agent no more.
Right.
I just don't, you know. I appreciate you sticking this out, and I know that things are going to change here, you know. I know that you have some thoughts in your mind. I mean, you've got your T-shirts, you got your own blog, you got your own little things going on, and they're only going to get better the way this podcast got better.
Right.
But you got to stick to it. You can't have 2 bad weeks and go, I don't want to do it no more. Everybody has 2 bad weeks. We went through a dry spell with the podcast a year and a half ago, or our number, you know, and because I was putting attention to the road. I wasn't putting attention to this. I was having too much fucking road work and not enough this. This is our bread and butter. I love doing this.
Right.
I really enjoy doing fucking this. You know, I love coming in here and talking to you. But I'm happy that you had that belief, that you believed in yourself to stay here and come back. Let me tell you something, Lee. And I don't know who the fuck you're kidding. And I'm going to tell you something right now. When you were editing, you were not a happy person.
No.
You were not a happy person.
There were some jobs that
you
I was
were not
depressed.
a happy person. Those jobs suck.
Right.
That overnight shit as an editing assistant, you know, and even John Budd, who's the brown belt over at VMAC, we've had thousands of conversations about you, and he's told me 1,000 times. That job your friend has, an assistant editor, those jobs suck. He's told me 1,000 times to tell you to get a higher job, like how to do it. He was telling me for you to go to the studio over here. You have to talk to him yourself. I don't know the editing business, so I can't. I would love for you to get a day job. If you get a day job, we could still do this at night, you know. If you want to, I'm with you, whatever the fuck you want to do, you know. But I don't want you to go get a job that you're not going to enjoy either. That it's the law of diminishing returns.
The problem is with editing is I was about 3 years into assistant editing.
Okay.
So on a average scale, I was probably 2 to 3, maybe 4 years away from being an editor. And the problem is yes, on paper, if I worked 9 to 5, we could do this every night at 8, and that would be cool. One of the reasons I decided to leave editing was, and you know this from working in TV and movies, there's no set schedule. And I understand why the producers think that their thing is the most important thing in the world, because it's their name and they're the EPs, and I understand that. But if I wanted to get an editing job right now, or an assistant editing job, which I'd be doing, it'd probably be from 10 to 7, and then there'd be nights where I'd have to be there until 8:30 or 9, and there's no job in editing that I could do really and still do this the way we're doing it. And the dry spell we went through about a year and a half ago, I was still working nights or another job, and I see myself doing better since then. So if I tell everyone who asks, if it got to the point where I'd be homeless, yeah, I would get an editing job. I'm not going to be stupid about it, but I'm okay not having the nicest apartment or not giving up some things, hoping that this will work out and working hard.
Now, what does Paula want you to do for a job? What does she expect from you as a job? I mean, obviously, you guys are getting more serious. You guys want to get married.
She's been very cool. She would never want me to be unemployed, not making any money. And I think if I were to propose, she would want something a little bit more stable. But she understands what I'm doing, and she's been pretty cool about it. I think when we first started dating, I was making more money because I was still doing TV. So she's seen like not a decline, but I haven't been able to do as many things as before, which is fine. I think it's mostly my parents who, and they're always very supportive. They always ask about it, and they're very supportive of it. But they saw how much money I was making before, and they don't want me to have to. I don't think they want me to worry about money, and they know that editing is, even though it's not super secure because you go from show to show, there's a guaranteed paycheck and they take taxes out, and it's more of a regular life. So I see where they're coming from.
So for you to propose to Paula, what would Paula say to you? You have to go back and get a day job now, or editing job.
I don't know if she'd say that.
So what would you do? You'd go back and work 10 to 7, so then when would she see you?
Right, and that's what I do tell her sometimes when, if we had a podcast on Friday, and I couldn't see her until later. If I was working a regular job, I wouldn't have, sometimes we go away on a Thursday night. Like, if you're gone, sometimes we'll go away to, San Diego or something. So that wouldn't be possible. I don't think she would say I have to go get another job. I think if in 2 or 3 years, when that'll be what's happening, because I'm not going to do it until after she graduates, I think she might ask me about it, which I understand.
I mean, you have a college degree. What other things can you do? What other things would you like to do? What are you interested in doing?
I love this, and I always liked editing, and I was pretty good at it, and I was lucky enough to work on some pretty good shows. But you're right. When I said I would have been happy, that's not exactly true. I think maybe it's just.
I mean, you're gonna work 10 to 7, and you're not gonna make much more money than what I'm paying you at 10 to 7. And you got to drive to fucking Santa Monica, and you got to stay up all life and look like the fucking Wolfman.
Right.
I mean, you weren't making exuberantly more. Not at all. Not in any fucking ballpark. And you were working 10 to 7.
Right.
You were putting together blocks and fucking houses and whatever the fuck they told you to sweep and shit.
Right.
So in a way, it wasn't really assistant editing. It was more like you do everything.
That was when I first started. When towards the end, right, but the last couple of jobs, my last job, I was the lead assistant editor. I was in charge of a couple other assistant editors, and yeah, I think after taxes, I was making $900 a week, something like that. So that's a comfortable life. But I was not happy. I had they would call me in at nights over the weekends because the producer
somebody fucked something up.
Decided that I had to be there. So when you say I have a college degree and what else could I do or do I want to do?
With that degree, what else would you consider doing?
With the degree I have is in digital post-production, so that all I can do is editing. I could probably get an insurance job or another kind of office job.
Selling insurance?
Yeah, I don't know, like a regular office job, and I could.
What kind of job would you want to do?
I don't want to do any other job. I mean, I've gotten to meet you, and I got to meet all the cool people we have, and not having to sit in traffic for 3 hours a day is a big plus. And that's what I meant when I said that money isn't the number one concern. I would love more money, and that is a concern with me being able to pay my bills. But who's had a happier year and a half than I have? I've gotten to do such cool things. I got to go to Austin with you, and some guy sent me an email last week, and I didn't get to read the whole thing. And what he said is that I'm wasting my time doing this, and then I'm on your coattails, and I should be making my own name. And that was right before I was doing my taxes, so it kind of bummed me out. But I thought about it last night, and part of it's true. Part of it is, obviously, if I was doing this podcast with your clone, but who didn't have your name, obviously the numbers wouldn't be there.
But you start. But you got to start somewhere. It's like with your podcast. You know, I went on Rogan's podcast. I went on other people's podcasts. Their numbers are huge. And I went on the podcast, and you work, and you work, and you work, and you work. Now, for a year and a half, you've done other podcasts.
Right.
And the big difference is, with those podcasts and me, is these guys don't work.
Right.
Their job is over. They walk in here 15 fucking minutes late. They don't prepare anything. They have nothing to talk about when they do come in here. They have a shitty fucking guest. You know, I work at this. And that's what people avoid. When people don't want to do work, they go, okay, that's it. I'm going to do something else or something like this. And we've seen it. I pointed it out to you. I've said, watch this fucking move this person's going to do. You've seen it all.
Right.
You've seen it. You've seen it from behind. They fucking freak. Work is a foreign word for fucking 60% of the people out here.
Right.
Once they got to do work, the brakes go on and they change, whether it's a script, a book, a movie, fucking anything. And you've seen it. I've showed it to you. How many intros did I make you for people with podcasts? How many have worked out? Because this is work. It's work at any level. Mm-hmm. If you take your podcast right now, first off, you have never been on my coattail. We have built this together. That's what these morons don't understand. From doing $100 fucking videos, when I would give you the camera on Mondays and you give it back to me on Tuesdays, we had nothing. So if we did this in 4 years, what you could do in 2 on your own, the office is available to you here. Nobody's in here throughout the day.
Right.
You've got editing equipment in here. You've got computers. You've got a fucking screen now. That's what I was saying to you. This is when you go, okay, what the fuck do I want to do? For a couple more yardsticks a week, I got to be in a fucking car and take orders and work nights by myself with no air conditioning. They fucking leave you in the fucking garage at night. That one night, you have to fucking take a cab back and go back.
Oh, yeah.
Here, you go from point A to point B, which is 2 miles.
Right.
We eat fucking edibles. The worst thing that happens to you is you go home and you eat 22 fucking rice cakes with hummus here. But you're making your own mark. And you're starting somewhere. You know, this all started for me doing what? Opening for Joe Rogan on the road. Okay? But at the same time, what was I doing? I was building my own little niche. Every time you guys that listen to the podcast send me a picture of me in basketball, that was 1998. You send me a thing of The Sopranos, Mad TV, that was 2003. Spider-Man 2. The Longest Yard. That was 2004 and fucking 5. When did the podcast world come along? So no matter what I was doing with Joe Rogan, I was always doing my own thing. So people never confused me with Joe Rogan. That was very big to me, that Joe had been so kind and had such a huge heart to take me on the road with me and pay me. And then he would take me and Ari with him and pay us and take us for steaks and, first class plane tickets. Joe doesn't fuck around. That's how I started. You don't think I was on his coattails? You bet your ass I was. But I really wasn't, because I was doing something for myself on my own, which is the most important fucking thing in this life. I don't give a fuck if you're fucking, what is 60% of the kids you grew up with? They went to work for their fucking fathers. That's not being on somebody's coattail.
Right.
Who the fuck are you kidding? Why you work for your father? Where you living? You living at the house. You ain't paying rent, and mom is still cooking for you. You're on that coattail. What happens after 4 years that you work for your father? You actually learn the fucking trade. And then what happens? Then you put your own spin on it, your own artistic fucking way on it. There's things we do with this podcast that I'm sure you don't fucking like, Lee. And I love that you don't fucking like it, because that's how much better your podcast is when you start doing a podcast. It is already. You're doing a lot better than these other fucking bobos you had in here with you for fucking 8 weeks, and you're not a fucking comedian. You're not even a fucking comedian. I did a fucking podcast with a woman that was a 20-year comic, and she couldn't get the work ethic of what this podcast is. So I've told you 1,000 times, in 4 years, you're going to have the knowledge to take over this town. It's what you do with it. I love, what's his name, Barry.
Yeah.
I didn't like what he said to you that night, because he tried to do it in a whatever way. And half of these fucking idiots listening at home believe that you didn't have a career as a manager. Well, guess what? You're going to have more of a career as a manager than he is, because you're a manager that's dialed in on 2015. Half these fucking people I talk to in the day that walk around parading like they're big agents and managers don't have the main ingredient, brother. They don't have the get-go. So always remember that. You're on nobody's coattail unless you're not doing something. If you were home fanning your pussy, yes, master, and you're running over you, but that's not the case. Is that the case with you and I?
No.
No. We set a time, we goof, I call you, I tell you what my dilemmas are. You solve them for me. How many problems you solve for me? You ever think about that? How many problems you solve for me? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'll call you and say, this is slipping. You go, maybe you should do it. Boom, and that's it. You make little adjustments. So now you got to take these adjustments and put them into your art and what the fuck you're doing. And that's what people never understand. You always start on somebody's coattail, as horrible as that sounds.
Yeah.
You don't think I get it? Fuck you, Joe Diaz. I don't give a fuck, because in my heart, I know I did something on the side. I wrote my own jokes. While I was working with Joe Rogan, and I'll fucking get Joe Rogan on the phone right now. How many fucking times have you people said, Joey, you were supposed to be with Joe? No, I'm doing my own fucking thing, because I want Joe to give me that respect. I always wanted Joe to call me, and sometimes for me to go, hey, Joe, no, I can't do that weekend. Come on, Joey. No, because I always wanted Joe to know that I was doing my own work.
Right.
I'm doing my own work, brother. I know what you're doing, and I'm with you. You know I got your back. But I got to take care of this. And he would get off the phone, and he'd be mad for a week. But then in a week, he'd call me and go, Dog, I'm really proud of you that you got that movie, or you got that sitcom, or you got that. Because you and I both know I got no help. I complain to you all the fucking time. My agents, they're in another fucking planet. If I don't do it, nobody fucking does it.
Right.
So a lot of these people misconstrue what we're doing here. They think that I'm here throwing bottles at you and shit. When we're on the road and you say to me, bro, you want a water, what do I always say to you? I'll get it myself. You're my equal. I never wanted you to think that you had to fucking get anything, or that's not the way it is. The only thing you do for me that I like that you do, that I don't like to do, is when you go down and get the guests. I don't want to walk down those stairs. My knee fucking hurts. But besides that, that's it. You'll never be on my coattails. You contribute to this. You help this. You enhance this. Now you have to figure out how to do this for yourself. How to take this and take what you've learned together and add your own spin and develop your podcast. Or take another young comic and go, hey, man, I might have an idea for you, but I got a condition. If you fucking quit before 6 months, I'll sue you for $10,000. And you make them sign that contract, and they have to be here at a certain time, and they have to have the same discipline you and I have had. Because I've told you 1,000 times. At 26, I would have canceled 8 times already at 6 in the morning. I would have been fucking coked up. So don't ever feel that. Just take what you have and the knowledge you have and go forward. You'll never be on my coattails. You'll never be on nobody's coattail. That's why I always tell young comics, when you work with somebody on the road, I want you to make your own move. So every once in a while, when you call him, you say to him, hey, I'm busy this week. I can't fucking do it. Where's Tony Bennett? Frankie.
Yeah, hello.
What's up, my brother?
Joey, what's going on?
How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
How was Manila?
It was hot. It was hot. It was all right. It was kind of like The hotel was nice, casino-like, and then the rest was like Slumdog Millionaire, you know?
Yeah. How is the food?
In the hotel, it's good. It's all Americanized. And I stuck to the stuff I'm going to eat, you know?
How's New Jersey doing right now? Is it still fucking cold?
It's fucking cold, man. This winter won't go away. It won't go away, but I think it's supposed to warm up next week a little bit.
My buddy called me today. He goes, Joey, it's still 29 degrees, man.
Yeah, dude. Unreal. Unreal.
So what's happening, my brother? I wanted to get you on for a long time, you know, and just talk about whatever. You know, you're one of my all-time favorites, and I haven't seen you since the Cub-Swanson fight. And I got to tell you, brother, unfucking-believable. Unbelievable, Frankie Edgar. You get better every time you step in that fucking octagon, man. Every time.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you know, that's what I try to do. Between every fight, just make sure I could beat myself the next time.
And Cub Swanson is no walk in the park, man. I mean, I remember calling Joe that night and going, Joe, what I want for Christmas is Frankie Edgar against the Irishman. And I tweeted it, and fucking people got pissed off at me and shit. But you know how we do it, Frankie Edgar. We go straight at that motherfucking lion.
That's right. You know that. I mean, we'll get there. We're going to get it done.
No. And now you got Uriah Faber next month?
Yeah, May 16th.
Oh, shit. Back in Manila. You know, he's a great guy. He's a great fighter. I mean, this is a great fight for you. I read somewhere that for you, this is like a championship fight. I mean, all of them are. What are you doing different for this one?
Yeah, the same stuff, man. You know, I mean, I've been fighting the top guys for a long time, and I go in there, I'm expecting us to fight the best Uriah there is, you know, that's all. And more so I'd worry about myself. I used to get caught up in what the other guy does, my team maybe a little bit, could do the same. But now we just worry about what we do, and we go about our business.
No, it's like I said, I've been watching your fights lately. I watched the other night Jose Aldo was on the main event at about 1 in the morning. I got back from doing comedy.
On Twitter about that one.
And I tell you, you know, I talk a lot of shit, Frankie, and the truth of the matter is there's only one fight I've ever placed money on, and that's you.
My man.
Me and my wife went in there for the 100th show when you fought the kid that retired. We bet you, and I don't bet anybody because I love the sport. I didn't want to ruin it like football for me. Like, it's just every time I watch football now, it's just I don't watch it no more because I can't bet it. So I didn't want that to happen to me with the UFC because I really love the whatever of it. And I know that I got to tell you something. A couple of months ago, Conor was fighting Dennis Seaver, and I was watching UFC tonight, and I could see you were just as uncomfortable. I mean, if you could have, you would have jumped through that fucking screen and fought him yourself. I mean, I just know the Jersey body language. You know, you just have that Jersey body language.
You're right, man. It was tough to watch, you know. I mean, but that's the way it goes, you know. And it's a business, this sport, and I'm learning that, you know.
No, it's like me. It's a business. It's not about the funniest guy. This is a business. It's about who they pay to see and who they. But I'm looking forward to this Uriah Faber fight. I'm looking forward to whatever happens in July with those two fucking knuckleheads, and then you get the winner of that. You know, I mean, that's the bottom fucking line.
You know, obviously I got to take care of business with Uriah, but you know, my goal is to hold that belt again. So. Plugging away.
And you're still training at in Henzo's, or you train down by you?
I'm in Jersey. Henzo's in the city. I go up there every once in a while. You know, it's just tough ride, man. But you know, I'm with Ricardo Almeida down in Jersey.
Now, from your place in Tom's River, is it? Is that where you're living now?
Yep, Tom's River. Yep.
To Henry, that's where he's at. Henry, New Jersey. I don't even know where the fuck Henry, New Jersey is.
Well, no. He's in Carlos he's in Robbinsville, New Jersey. It's like kind of by Trenton area.
And how far is that ride?
It's like a 40-minute ride, 45-minute ride.
I've never even heard where that town is at.
Yeah, it's like it's on the way. It's off 195. It's on the way to Trenton.
Now let me ask you this: this kid that I watched yesterday at the Eddie Bravo tournament, Gary Tonin, you know this guy?
Yeah. He trained with us. He lives one town away. So
no, because
he's a stud, man.
Oh my God! You know, Frankie, I know a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I go twice a week. You know, I got other things going on. I go down to Hegan. You know, and I'm a white belt. I like, Kimuras and neck chokes and shit like that, gi chokes. I know nothing. I was telling Lee, let me tell you something. I never want to become a blue belt because I don't want people fucking with my feet, and I don't want to touch nobody else's fucking feet. It was like a leg lock seminar yesterday. I didn't know what was going on, so it was very high level for me to see what was going on, but there was some great matches anyway. But Gary's a fucking pimp.
He is, man. He's not scared to compete against anybody, He'll throw his hat in there with anybody, man. He's impressive to watch.
A couple of weeks ago, some people were training with him in the city somewhere, and one of the guys wrote, I'm with Gary. I just got a Five Guys burger. And I fucking went off. You're in fucking New York and you get a Five Guys fucking burger? You could eat one of those scabby burgers anyway. Go down the shore and get a sausage and pepper or some shit.
That's right. This kid Gary, man, he's a stud, man. I'm wondering if he talks about maybe possibly getting to MMA. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that was tremendous yesterday. You got any questions for my man Frankie here?
Yeah, hey Frankie. My name is Lee. I produce the show. I don't know if you saw it or not, but this weekend there was a crazy call in Brazil where the ref called a stoppage, and the guy wasn't even close to tapping. I don't know if you don't want to talk about it. That's fine, but like UFC is like the only major sport where the ref and like the rules are in another organization. Like the NFL polices itself. So it's kind of weird as a fan of other sports to hear Dana White like arguing for no contest. Why do you think the UFC doesn't have its own rules and its own refs? I don't understand what would be stopping them from that.
Yeah, the reason I think they don't have their own rules is people don't want to think like the UFC is fixing fights and UFC is telling the judge or the referee to do this and do that. That's what I think. They like to keep it like as a third party. But half these commissions and judges and referees, and they need something because you see bad calls weekly.
Have you ever had a fight that ended with a call like that? Because it must just kill the fighter who loses, and it must mess up the guy who wins too. He must think maybe he didn't really win.
Yeah, I've never been in a situation like that, but that's unfortunate, man. A lot of people don't. You put a lot into this, and I think that guy would have rather been knocked out than that happened to him.
I can't even imagine. And Joey told, I think it was about Frankie, right? About fighting in bars in New Jersey. Was that him, Joey?
No, we were talking about the toughness of the Jersey Shore. The same story I told you about that time in Mr. Breakfast. When my buddy fought the guy. And I always say that, the Jersey Shore gets fucking shit on by these fucking, like, guys like my friends that will go down the shore on the weekends and park where the fuck they want to and have barbecues and double park and make noise. And then your family comes over and knocks on the door that the fucking people rented to us. And then I say something to your parents, and then you got to, there was always drama. I remember going down, and I'm a fucking, I never create drama like that in front of somebody's house. But I used to always go, somebody fucking lives next door to these people. And they got to put up with all this shit, people having parties. And then I saw the fist fights. And I'm like, you know what? It just makes sense that these guys down the shore have to be fucking tough. Because they put up with so much fucking shit. And then as I got old, we play football against Brick Township, and you play football against these short teams. And these fucking guys, you got to hit them to fucking knock them down. And I knew this for years, and then you come along. And I'm trying to explain to people, listen, man, watch this guy, because I know these little fucking guys. They're a little small, and they're deceiving, and they bounce around, but they'll fuck you up. They'll fuck you up like what you do. You just fuck people up. They get entranced with your little bob and your little weave, which is at the top of its fucking game. I was at home trying to punch it, and I couldn't fucking punch it. That's how much you were bobbing and weaving against what's his name. But it's the Jersey Shore has always meant something. Like even wrestlers, they always have great wrestlers down there. It's cold down there all fucking winter. They got to stay in. The basketball teams have always been great. And it's like they have this heart that people just, when you fought, what's the fucking guy's name out of Vegas? That was a Team Couture that time. I tell people, you got to hit Frankie with a fucking sink. And then pray he don't get up. Because it's like a toughness that the Shore puts in you,
Yeah, no, I definitely been in some scraps over on Seaside over the bridge, man. It kind of the nature of growing up down here, you know. You got the guys from up north coming trying to step on your turf.
It's fucking crazy, and they do it every week. And after a while, I know it's got to be. I saw a fist fight. Remember the water slide in Seaside Heights?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That you used to put like you went with your T-shirt off, but if you paid an extra $10, they give you like a bodysuit, and you did like 30 miles an hour, even faster. I saw.
The Rainbow Rapids, I think it was.
Rainbow Rapids. It's not there no more. It can't be.
No, they got something different now. But yeah, Rainbow Rapids.
I saw a fist fight there, Frankie, that the kid got hit with a bottle, and he still kept coming. It was like Walking Fucking Dead. I've seen some shit down the Jersey. I think for violence, San Francisco's #1 in the Jersey Shore. One time, what's the one up from Lavalette, where it's nice people and stuff?
Ortley
or Lavalette. It's next to Seaside.
Yeah, Lavalette, and they're very next to each other. Yeah.
I saw a fist fight down there that must have taken. It was like 25 minutes. You know, I'm Batman. You see a fight, it takes 2 fucking seconds. Pam, pam, pam.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys kept coming at each other after the shirts were ripped and they stopped and drank water. They kept fucking fighting again. You know.
They had rounds.
This is a street fight, but they're relentless, and that's you know. Hey, listen, man, that style. That's what I think people love about you. That's why you're a fan fucking favorite. And that's why I wanted you to just call in so I could tell you that, man. I love you to death, Frankie.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the love. You know, I got to represent Jersey, man. I know you're in that nice weather now, but, you know, I can't forget Jersey.
Oh, listen, man. I miss Jersey. Jersey is who I am, Frankie Edgar. When you talk and look at me, man, I got nothing but Jersey. I am a walking...
Oh, I can tell.
Oh, my God. When I came from, you know, and people, the Italians love me because they're all about mama. So when my mama died, they fucking took me in. You know, they just took me in. And you got the Irish, the Italian, a couple Germans, a couple Jews. You put that all together, there's always one black kid. We always have one black kid.
Cool. You got the token black guy. Got it.
Yeah, the token black guy. And, and they all mix up. Hey, when are you coming back out here to do UFC tonight?
I don't know. Probably after my fight. You know, I'm gonna stay at it until from May 16th, and I'll definitely be out there do UFC tonight, something like that.
When you come out, man, I'd like you to see you and maybe you come on and talk to us. I know it's late over there in Jersey. I don't want to take much of your time.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah, I just wanted for you to call and let you know I love you. We're cheering for you here at the church. We got you, and that's it, man. You're one of us. I appreciate it, man. You guys are the best, man. You're funny as shit, man. So it's a pleasure being on the show. Hey, you too, and I'll watch you. I'll see you somewhere. I'll be in Vegas Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully you'll be out there fucking around. Yeah, it won't be bad. A little celebration. All right, man. I love you, Frankie. Thank you very much for taking the time. All right, brother. Be good, man. I'll see you May 16th. Knock 'em dead, brother. Got it. What's up, Lee Syatt? Not much, buddy. How you feeling? You still a little high? I'm very high. Let me give some shout-outs and shit. My main man, Quinn from Ottawa. Alex Henriquez. Happy birthday. Lewis Robertson. Benito Haddad. Mike Wilson. Sean Barrett. Philip Craig. And Chung Kennedy. I love you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Did you see the video of Bruce Lee Caceres doing a bare-knuckle fight in like a park? No, I didn't see that. Oh my God, let me pull it up. Is he still in the UFC? It said he was. I didn't say another fight, but this was a few years before the UFC. Let me pull it up. It's hysterical. I want to thank some of the people that, or most of the people that watched the Ari Shaffir show on Comedy Central the other night. I got a bunch of great remarks from you people and great feedback. You know, this is not happening show. You know, I don't know what the numbers were or whatever, but I got to tell you something, man. It was fucking great getting that story off my chest. I hate watching myself. I've always been. Don't worry about it, Lee. Don't worry about it. I've always been a big. I've always been a big against watching myself. I fucking hate it, Lee. I hate, you know, Lee always stays on me and D'Agostino, but you don't tape your sets. Joey, you should have taped what you said. I fucking hate listening to myself. I hate that whole thing. So I'm at the Comedy Store Thursday. I'm at Somewhere first, and then I go to the Comedy Store. I think you went to the Laugh Factory? I think I was at the Laugh Factory. Yes, I was at the Laugh Factory, and I go up to the Comedy Store. I do my set. And I get in my car and I go home, and as I fucking walk in the door, my wife was taping Comedy Central at 9:30, and she went to bed. So Comedy Central had been left on. So basically, I walk in, go in the bathroom, take a pee. I always got to pee when I walk in. I wash my hands. I go get some coffee. And when I walk out, Ari's bringing me up. So I watched it. And I had forgotten what I had said, as I usually fucking do. Zoraida was this lady who just was a dear friend of my mother's, man. And her and my mother were just super tightly. They would talk for fucking hours. And I used to, when you're when I was a kid, there was only one phone in the house.
Right.
So there was times or sometimes I'm lying to you guys. I had a phone in my room, but my own phone number. But there was times I wanted to make another call. There was the call waiting. So I would go in the kitchen and my mom would be on the other phone. I'm like, fuck, because me and Whitey would try to put a bet in. So I would have to call my bookie from the other thing and then tell Whitey on the phone the line is 6.5, whatever the fuck it is.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, we were kids, we didn't fucking know. So she would always be on the phone with Zoraida. I used to get pissed off. Mom, get off the fucking phone. How long can you talk to somebody for? It was always that attitude, This lady fucking came through, man. She just was my mother's dear friend, and they used to laugh at night. And the last 6 months of my mom's life, it was really sad. She was really sad about losing my stepfather and the bar and all this shit. And she was worried about her future and how she's going to make a living. And Zoraida made it all better. Like, Zoraida would just come to the hospital, come to the house, and just make it all better. My mom had a surgery about a month and a half before she died on her stomach. Something was bothering her, like Felicia Crohn's or whatever that is.
Okay.
So something was bothering her, so she got surgery. So Zoraida was there. Zoraida was just always around, and it was funny. She had an apartment in Spanish Harlem, but she lived in Long Island. She had that much money. Zoraida had made millions from what I heard. I heard she was sending a bunch of money to Cuba every month.
Whoa. And
she was sending money in a bank. She had a drug operation over a bodega on 113th Street. And she had security on the street. She had security in the fucking hallway. Zoraida was a badass bitch. She had the drug down. She had the drug trade down. I think she had another apartment in the area. So what she would do is she'd get there like at 10, and she'd prep the drugs for the day and then sell drugs till like 4. Then she'd get so fucked up, she'd take a nap for 2 or 3 hours. And then she'd come back and work from 7 till like 2 in the morning selling coke and little bags of heroin. And I would go over there as a kid, and I'd make believe I didn't know what she was doing, but I knew what the fuck she was doing.
Fuck. I think the greatest thing about the story, and I watched it on TV and then I watched it on YouTube. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you really worked this out. Did you? Did you? I know you planned it, but you never did it on stage.
No, I can't do it on stage. Who the fuck would tolerate that?
I think a lot of people, when they were watching it, me included, that moment when you get sort of caught up, and
yes,
it was if I was gonna make an advertisement about that show to get that show picked up, like, that moment is, I'm assuming, what Ari wants, because there's no one I know who could watch that and not get choked up. But then right after, you do the line about Zoraida giving your mom coke in the casket, and the entire room explodes. Because, like, the camera, it's like you can see yourself about to cry, and like the whole audience is just silent. The reason I could tell it was a good story, the bartenders were watching. If you look in the back of the video, the bartenders at the strip club were leaning on the bar just watching, and it was amazing to see.
I was in the moment. I had to be in the moment because I never told that story publicly. Never mind, I never told my wife this. This is something I lived with for 20 fucking years, that I didn't do right by this woman. I had not done right by her after everything she did for me. You have no idea how many nights, like I said, I would just make up a fucking story. Like at 11 o'clock at night, I'd be with you, fucked up, with no money, and I'd call her up. You got a phone, bro? Let me call New York. No, my mother's going to know. Don't worry about it. Let me call New York. I would call her up. She'd be there, and she'd go, what are you doing? Nothing, man. Listen, I just got a call. I got to go to the University of Michigan to the school. There was no fucking University of Michigan. There was no school. She would go, what do you need? 300-400? Can you get over here right now? I'm going to be here for another hour. I'll be there in fucking 20 minutes. I get over there, I get 300-400 from her. I said, listen, let me get a gram of coke so I can sell my friend in the car. There was no fucking friend in the car. It was for me. She'd give me the gram and go keep the $100. And I'd fucking snort the coke. You have no idea. You have no idea how bad I feel about this. And towards the end, it was horrible. I was just a kid. I didn't know. I was just a kid.
What do you think? Because you've told stories where you beat other drug dealers and you've said you don't feel bad about it because they're drug dealers. What do you think it is about her then?
I didn't beat her for money. I beat her because she loved me. She really loved me. You have no idea. She loved me, but she loved my mother. She didn't call me Coco, and she didn't call me Joey. She called me Cosita.
What's that mean?
That means little thing. The only other thing that was little in her life was her Chihuahua, and that was Cosita. Cosita means like this little thing, like una cosita, this little thing. So that's what she used to call me. I mean, she used to babysit me. When I came from Cuba, my mom used to go, I used to leave you with her, and it was horrible because she would get tanked and let you do whatever you wanted to do. She would let you, like if you wanted a piece of chicken, she'd go buy you 20 pieces of chicken. If you wanted candy, she took you and bought you candy. It just wasn't healthy, so I couldn't leave her with you anymore. She loved me, man. She loved me. She watched me grow in front of her eyes. She watched me become a man. Then she helped me become a man, But then, it's like anything else. The drugs, Somebody wrote me today, and I told them what addiction is. Addiction means fucking your friends and your loved ones. Mentally, physically, spiritually. That's what you do. You weigh on your friends. Every time you see me, Lee, as much as you love me, I'm going to hit you up for $50 or a ride or... and you like doing coke too, but eventually you're like, Joey, that's it. I don't mind taking a ride with you and fucking around with you, doing a bump with you, but that's fucking it. And as I was watching me tell the story, because it sucked me in too, it sucked me in. I was very proud. I was very proud that I kept her alive. I kept Zoraida alive in my heart. Every time I make a move, I always think of her, Jesus Christ. I wish she was alive to see me doing this. To see me not doing coke and not being deceivious and not being a bad person. I wish she would have got to see me. And I know that she's somewhere watching me with my mother right now. She passed. I got the news when I went to Miami. My godmother is friends with her niece. Mm-hmm. But she didn't really know what had happened. She just thought I disappeared the same way she disappeared. She lived for years after that. I just had no contact with her, And I can't lie to you, when I went back to New York in 91, I went over into the city and I walked around and I asked questions. Even 6 years later, it bothered me not making it right with her. That's what it was. I feel by telling the story and letting everybody know what I did and how I acted, I made it right. She was a funny lady, man. She was a ballsy fucking lady, man. Her and my mother were two women that I have the utmost respect for. Because of the valor, the balls they showed. They really did. She was a woman selling drugs in the 70s in Harlem with no husband. She didn't want a husband. She didn't want a man around her. She didn't want nobody around her. She had nothing. It was just her and that fucking Chihuahua and a gun in her purse. She had like 2 or 3 guns on her at all times. Jesus. She always had 3 fucking pieces on her at all times. She always had one in her underwear, one in her purse, and one in her bra, like a 22, like a little one. Her tits were huge, so she put it right over here. And sometimes the barrel, not the barrel, but the handle stuck out. So she would put it right over here, so she would pull it at you when you went to buy drugs. She was just, it was a different time. It was and she loved me, Lee. She really fucking loved me, which is something that is rare when like a friend of your parents really loves you. They weren't sisters. They had no blood between them. They were dear friends. And it taught me how to be a friend. It taught me what you need to be a friend. People always, I don't have enough, the show Friends ruined America. And I would have gone into that more that night on stage, but I only have 15 minutes because when I wrote it out, that was part of the write-up. The show Friends ruined America because it lets everybody think that they have to go out with 8 people. Well, life is too complicated to have 8 fucking friends and to appease all of them and to be nice to all of them and to get along.
Right.
That's why I said, when you have a grammar school friend, you have 2 or 3 fucking friends. You could take over everything. Because whatever you need, I could call you, Lee, and go, hey, Lee, I got this problem. It's not money. It's whatever. I'm getting a job as an editor, and I want to do another podcast, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? That's what friends do. They take care of each other's mental, dilemmas.
Right.
They ease the mental dilemmas. When you call me with the tax thing, I talk to you, and I busted your balls about going to jail,
A little bit. For like 3 days, you call me, all right, I got a new deal for you. You'll only do 7 years, but then you go to a halfway house.
Yeah, no. But I that's what friends do. And people misinterpret. They want to have all these friends and have these parties and have all these people. I'm like, why would you want to do that? I don't want fucking 80 friends. I just need 3 motherfuckers to make it work. And they did. And the fact that she came every weekend, Lee, I can't do shit every fucking Sunday. I would meet her at 1. I would have to get a ride to Otto's Bar and Grill on 30th and New York Avenue. I'd walk in, it would be her, another lady, 2 other ladies, and 2 guys. And she'd take a cab from New York with everybody. And the bar would be hopping. People would go there to meet her, like my mom's friends. And she'd be buying drinks, giving out bumps. There was a hot dog place in front of it, a Sabret hot dog stand. We'd be out there eating hot dogs. Then we'd call a cab, or she'd keep the cab from New York and get him in. Come on, get out of the car. Come inside and drink with us. The fucking cab driver would be in the bar drinking. Then we'd take a ride down to the cemetery, hang out, do our thing. That was a half hour. She'd give me cash. She'd talk to me about my week, what I was going to do, whatever. And then she'd leave me there because I lived right around the corner from Weehawken Cemetery. And then she'd go right back to Long Island. Or sometimes she'd go back to Harlem, close out the night, and then go back to Long Island. She did that every weekend for somebody who was no blood to her. That's loyalty. That's friendship. That's something that's unheard of today. I saw, and I talked about Maryland, and I spoke about the Jeff Valdez fucking thing, how I fucking almost killed him. And I finally got that guy spit in his fucking face 2 years later.
That I wanted to talk to you about that. That was my favorite part of your story, because you could have ended it at the Z thing, about at you weren't able to be there for her. That could have been the end of your story, but you took it and you brought it back around the other way, which I haven't seen. Storytelling is really big right now, and I don't see a lot of people doing that. So for that part, like people have been tweeting me because apparently I laugh at a certain point when no one else does. My favorite part of any performance you ever have is the thing that I don't think anyone else notices, or only a couple people notice, or stuff that makes you laugh on stage because everyone else is hearing the jokes for the first time. So, but you doing that extra bit about Maryland was so cool. Like you thought about this story. You must have thought about the story for a long time.
Well, I thought about the friendship story. And let's be honest here. Let's be fucking totally honest here. I liked the Maryland, the whatever story.
Yeah.
And then I heard, for a few months, I've been hearing through friends that a couple of people said that they couldn't work with me because of what I had done at the Comedy Store that night to Jeff. A lot of people said, you know what, don't work with him because the whole town knows about him. They're not going to do business with him. And Hollywood is a place, this area here, I don't know, society, I don't know what's going on out there. I know this place here, we live in a place where you can't tell somebody they're doing something wrong. These Hollywood people, these directors and these writers and whatever, you can't say to them, hey man, don't talk to me that way. You know, you work for fucked up bosses in Santa Monica, they talk to you a certain way, you're like, do me a favor, don't talk to me that way. Most people would go home mad and then come back the next day and say, Lee, I'm very sorry for talking to you that way. You're absolutely right. You don't deserve that. Here in Hollywood, people get pissed off at you if you call them out.
Right.
Jeff had been running people amok for years. He had been a scumbag to people for years. Primarily his own people. His own Mexican Latin friends, he was being a scumbag to. He had his favorites, but to everybody else, he was a fucking shithead to. And I had noticed it. He was a shithead to me. He did something to me that hurt me fucking tragically, but it made me a better stand-up.
What did he do?
He wanted me to showcase for something. He made me showcase for a festival like 4 or 5 times clean, and then he told me I didn't get the festival, and then he added a dirty show to really rub salt in my fucking wounds. I had just got to Hollywood. I wasn't prepared for that. I still live life how men live life. When I tell you I'm gonna do something, I do it. I got here, and these aren't men. These are all a bunch of fucking nomads that have no soul. So they don't get, they're not accountable for their words. They're not accountable for their actions.
Right.
They always blame it on somebody else. Ah, it wasn't me, it was the producer. It was you motherfucker. It was you cocksucker. So when he did that to me, after that I got numb towards him. I didn't really, because I knew I wanted to always smack him. Marilyn kept fucking around with him and kept getting burnt by him. Marilyn kept fucking around with him, and Marilyn needed the money. So Marilyn would dick around with him for dollars and cents. I wouldn't. I just said, I'm going to avoid that fucking guy. But I'm never going to forget what he did. The weekend Marilyn died, it's the truth. I hadn't snorted coke. When I got the news that Marilyn died, I hadn't been clean for 4 days. By the time they did the wake, I was clean a week. I was clean 7 days by the time I went down there. I was furious. When I seen him down there, I went off. I threatened him from the stage. I told him, hey, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to fucking stab you. And then I left. And I was furious. I never thought about it that way. When I found out that people were mad at me for sticking up for a friend of mine, whether it was a wake or whatever the fuck it was, it hurt my feelings because I wanted them to know the story, where it came from. That's why that story wouldn't have been a whole story if I wouldn't have told the wake story.
Right.
If I would have just went up there and told the story about Marilyn, it wouldn't have sold. It had to compare. It had to compare it to what made me, like, me beating the coke for a week was huge.
Yeah.
But me sticking up for fucking Marilyn that night was even bigger in my world. You know why? Because it taught me that over the years, the addiction had hidden my manhood. And it did. Don't get me wrong, I was still an asshole and I still stuck up for myself. But I didn't stick up for my... It was a personal stick up for myself. I wouldn't stick up for myself against the industry. And when I did that, it set me fucking freely. It made me a better fucking man. I remember on the drive home going, holy shit, I haven't been this person in 30 fucking years. What happened to this person? What happened to this person that fought what he believed for? That, Lee, if you called me when I was a kid and said, you had a problem with 8 motherfuckers, I said, get in the car, we're going to go down there and deal with 8 motherfuckers. Even though I knew I was going to lose, I still won because we went there and stuck up for ourselves. And sometimes, bro, there could be 8 people on the corner. They see you when 8 guys are standing on a corner, or 6 guys, or 5 guys, and 2 guys pull up in a car, and 1 guy's been abused, and the other guy shows up. These 5 guys are thinking, what's this fucking guy thinking that he's stepping up to us by himself? He's got something we don't know about. So sometimes doing that levels off the playing field in people's minds. He's got something. He may have a fucking gun. For a long time when I was in L.A., I stuck up for myself as a human, but I didn't stick up for myself as a comedian. And after that night with Jeff, I stuck up for Marilyn and myself, and I got in that car on the drive home. No matter how bad I wanted to, I might cry on the drive home because I hadn't had those feelings that come out. Oh my God, now it's Coco again. This is Coco Diaz. This is not Joey Diaz no more, some ha-ha-ha guys. You guys, for years, saw Joey Diaz. Now the people you see is Coco Diaz. This is how I was raised. These are my thoughts. This is what my beliefs were at a young age. So by me sticking up for him, bro, it meant the world to me.
Let's say it's true that some people won't work with you because of what you did. Does any part of you regret it?
Not at all. I don't give a fuck because that eliminates the middleman. I don't have to do business with them. We don't have the same beliefs. They look at it and they could say, hey, man, it wasn't classy. There was a write-up 2 days later in the L.A. Times that I still have at the house, hidden somewhere. Terry's got it in a book.
About what you said?
About everything that happened at this wake. There was a writer there from the L.A. Times that covered the wake. And he put Jeff's name in it, and Jeff tried to fight the L.A. Times. They told him to fuck off, that they were going to check the allegations. And they checked him, and they said, yeah, the kid's right, fuck off. And he got super pissed. So that's what really, I hit him where it fucking hurt. Like, I really got him. They came out in the news and everything. It came out in the L.A. Times, man. Front fucking page. Me on a stage pointing at a fucking wake.
Oh, they got a picture of it?
Oh, yeah, they got a picture of it.
Oh, I'm going to have to look for it now.
Yeah, I have it at the
crazy.
house.
Oh, you should bring it in.
So that's what it was. It was more about me becoming me. But after I did it, then I remember was a writer at the wake, choking
Yeah.
Mr. whatever his name was. He was a good dude, bro. That dude that ran the funeral parlor in Jersey, Abado, whatever his name was, he was a good Cuban dude. And Zoraida fucking choked him because they put the wrong dress on her. That's what got me choked up once I started saying that story, because I hadn't thought about it. It was a thought, not a reality coming out of your mind. Put the wrong dress on my mother. You should have seen this woman.
That's what set you off, really?
That's not what set me off. That's what sets Zoraida off.
Well, no. But I'm saying that's what made you get emotional?
Yeah, just saying it that night. Saying that whole reliving it. Like I was there. I was at that wake again. I still remember going outside and coming back in. It was a Sunday night, maybe 12:30. I still remember that, Lee. And smelling the formaldehyde. Like that scent never got out of my nose. And just sitting in the back and walking in while Zoraida was petting her. I'll never forget that memory. That memory is etched. I still remember Zoraida had the brown dress on. It was just the most time. She was kneeling down, and she was just touching her hair, and she was touching her cheek, and she was just telling her that, and I said it wrong in the thing, when she was saying that her world wouldn't be the same. Like my world's going to be completely different when I'm never going to get to talk to you again in the daytime. We're never going to giggle about this or giggle about the Mets or talk about this guy's fucking ugly cock. When she was saying all these things to her, and I was remembering my mom laughing, and I just broke down. And then she just said, I'm going to take care of your son. And I came over and we all hugged. I hugged Zoraida and kissed her, and she was crying and I was crying. But I could see how much it hurt her that night. And then I went away for a corner and I did my thing. And maybe an hour later, I was sitting there by myself, Lee. Just by myself. It had to be maybe 12. They were going to bury her. I was going to go home about 6, take a shower and put a suit on and come back. And about an hour later, I don't know where the fuck Zoraida was. I just lost it. I fucking lost it. I couldn't believe she was gone. That night was, you go through all emotions all week and you think you're going to do okay. Right there, I lost it. And that was it. I never lost it again. The next day when they threw dirt on her, I lost her a little bit. The next day, Zoraida went to the city when they buried my mom. She went to the city after we went and we all ate somewhere.
Right, yeah.
And then she went to the city. She got half her stuff. She trusted her drug business with some minions. And she came and stayed with me till Thanksgiving. So I would be okay. Thanksgiving was when I moved it to Bender's. Thanksgiving Day. And then she went back to New York to resume. So for 3 weeks, she stayed with me after the wake, after the funeral. Just me and her. She would cook for me. She'd make me breakfast. She'd wash my clothes. She'd make sure I had money every day. That's what she did. She lived in my mother's house with me. You have no idea.
You've never said that before.
No. This is something that people would never understand. This is why when you think you have a good friend or you think you're a good friend, you have to requalify. You really do. You have no fucking idea. She stayed with me. I still remember the last night I took acid. Well, the last night she was staying with me, I took acid, and I came home and the blob was on.
Okay.
And I was giggling by myself, and she came out of the room. She's like, what are you doing? And she goes, are you okay? Are you on something? And I was like, no. And then I remember walking over and getting this girl and walking her back to my house, and we were swapping spit, and I pulled the pants off, and she had her period. A fucking pad popped up, and on the way back, Zoraida came out of the room, and she's like, what happened? That was quick. And, Zoraida was a fucking trip, man. But a lot of people don't know this. She stayed with me till Thanksgiving, and then I went and moved in with the Benders, and that was that.
That's crazy. Like I've never heard of your story, essentially. Like maybe in my time now, if somebody, like, you just go with a family member, like the next, I'm shocked you didn't go with your stepdad. Like, it's just going from friend's house to friend's house.
I had too loose of a life, Lee. I had an open door at my house. I came when I went. I went when I wanted to. I had a phone. I had an air conditioner. I had cable TV in my room. My mom had spoiled me. I was an only child. How the fuck was I going to go live in Union City, make new friends, transfer high schools, to live on the 4th floor with no fucking elevator, with Juan, with mice in the apartment, because Juan was a cheap fuck and he left food out at night and shit like that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. If I went and lived with Carmine made you be in the house by 9 o'clock. You had to have fucking A's on your report card. He would check your eyes when you came home at night. He'd breathalyze you. At that age, Lee, I was too fucking loose. It was too late. I wasn't gonna. I got to be home at 9? Are you fucking kidding me? I wouldn't go out till 9. But in hindsight, I don't know. I did the right thing. I moved with the Benders. I did what I want. They threw me out a year and a half later. That was it. That's my story.
You never thought about moving in with Zoraida?
She lived in fucking Long Island, Lee. That's even farther.
Oh, okay. So your friends were very important then.
Yeah,
okay.
my friend. I was just starting to, I just was for all you need. Shroom Tech,
Mune.
Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech Sport. I am so impressed with Shroom Tech Sport, I can't tell you, because half the time I'm dying when I'm fucking working out. I've been doing some workouts lately, weight-wise, that has been barbells and shit lately.
Right.
That has been phenomenal, and it's been because of fucking Shroom Tech Sport. I'm telling you right now, guys. I'm a fat fuck. I'm 52 years old. I don't like energy drinks. It's not an energy drink. You just feel like you can live. You know, it's just a feeling. Trust me when I'm telling you. Start with Alpha Brain. They got a money-back guarantee. It's like going to a Chinese restaurant and getting the pork fried rice, and that sucks. Why are we moving forward? Same thing with Alpha Brain. Start with Alpha Brain. From there, go to Shroom Tech Sport or anything else that you might need. The T fucking enhancer, the testosterone enhancer. They have things across the board that can help you mentally, physically. Don't believe me. Go to honor.com right now. See what they got. If you find something you like, do me a favor. Go to the box and press in.
Church.
And get 10% off your order. Also, they have the Stay On It program where it gets delivered right to your fucking house. You can't beat that with a stick. You understand me? Go to On It, see what they got. And number 2, my main motherfucker, Dave Foley and shit. IronDragonTV.com, making it happen. Classic martial art films. Classic, old school shit. Man of the fucking one arm. All that type of shit. Go right now to IronDragonTV.com. Press in
Joey
and get 2 free movies. You understand me? Every week they're adding stuff. It's the 4K technology. This guy's got some shit crack-a-lacking over at Iron Dragon TV. Everybody loves a great martial art film. Don't believe me. Go to Iron Dragon TV and get your 2 free fucking movies. See how the website works. You're going to love it. NailedItLife.com. You're smoking vapor. You're doing the fucking things with the blowtorch. They got all your answers. You understand me? If you want to go to Mars, Nailed It Life for the people that fucking take you there. They're the navigators of death. Go to NailedItLife.com. Look at the vapor pen they got. I think it's $50. If you press in,
Joey Diaz.
boom, in the box, you get 20% off, which makes it 16 fucking gazines. You understand me, cocksuckers? $40. I'm sorry. I'm all fucked up in this. I must ate 750 milligrams.
You did.
But I don't give a fuck, dog. I've been into that savage.
Oh, my goodness.
Go to NailedItLife.com right now and press in.
Joey Diaz.
Boom! And get 20% off. Also, my main motherfuckers, I've been smoking throughout the whole show tonight. Hit E-Cigs, the cigar. I'm telling you, there was times I was smoking like it smells like a fucking cigar. Don't believe me. Again, go to HitE6.com right now. They got e-cigarettes, 0 to 24 milligrams. You could quit with them. Or you could just smoke 8 milligrams of fucking nicotine and just control your nicotine. Or get this beautiful cigar. The guarantee they have is you get 1,200 puffs from each fucking product they got. This thing lasts 3-4 fucking weeks. And what does it cost? 20 with 20% off? That's $16 fucking dollars. That's what it is. Go to HitE6.com right now and press in.
Joey's Church.
Oh, shit. And get 20% off your first order just to get the fucking party started, all right? Besides that, I also want to give a shout-out to my main girl, Jenica Jones. She made a beautiful Joey Coco Diaz for me made out of weed. She put on You Are What You Eat. I love this girl. She had the best smile in the fucking world.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, she's a great fucking girl. Anyway, thank you very much. See you Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, you bad motherfuckers. Till then, stay black.
This show is brought to you by Onnit.com. Go to Onnit.com and use code word church to get 10% off of all their great optimization products. Like Alpha Brain, New Mood, Shroom Tech Immune, Shroom Tech Sport. Also, go to IronDragonTV.com. Iron Dragon TV is a Roku channel with all of your favorite martial arts movies. They're adding new stuff every day. Please go check it out with new 4K technology. Use code word Joey to get 2 free rentals. Go to HitE6.com. That's hit the letter E6.com. Better tasting, longer lasting. The proof is in the vape. They have e-cigarettes and e-cigars for you. It's code word Joey's Church to get 20% off of your order. And for all the oil and wax smokers out there, to get 20% off the premier vapor pen on the market, go to NailedItLife.com and use code word Joey Diaz.